Train Lover 1974 presents An American Return. It was a beautiful day on the island of Sodor. Many of the engines were working hard as to make sure to keep up with the timetables. However, there were concerns growing that the workload might grow even more, especially when the summer season approached. Sir Topham Hatt knew that action needed to be taken, so he had a meeting with one of the American Heritage Railroads and managed to purchase back an engine that he had not had in a long time. He would arrive later at the harbor. "Oh, Stephanie, I tell you, the workload has been picking up lately." "I know. Ever since that accident along the main line with Spencer, we've had more work to do since they had to repair the main line." "I know what you mean, Donald. I've been working harder in the yards trying to keep up." "I know. I just wish we had another engine to help." "Well, we're probably going to get one." "What do you mean, Mike?" "There's an engine on that ship. I have to go pick it up. I'll be with you two in just a few moments." "A new engine? I wonder who that could be. Maybe it's the one Sir Topham had ordered." "Yeah, well, no crap, Stephanie. Sorry." "It's fine. I'm sorry I snapped. It's just, it's just this work is getting tiring." "I know what you mean. But I wonder who the new engine could be. Maybe it's an 8F. Or maybe it's a different engine completely." "I think it's American." "American?" "Yeah, this engine doesn't look British built. Hold on. Oh, it's heavier than it looks." Alright, I'm lowering it down. Oh my. Phew. Alright, I gotta go get its tender. "Well, hello, Sodor. It's been a long time, hasn't it?" "Whoa, I'll be. Hello, Hank. It's been a long time." "It's been a long time indeed. You look smaller than I remember." "That was because I was recently sent to the works recently on the mainland, and I actually was reloaded to fit the British loading gauge. So this means now I can work on your rails." "Well, that's good. The last time you worked here, it didn't exactly go well." "I remember well." "I don't. I wasn't here for that." "Oh. Hold on, guys. I'm unloading his tender." There you go. And that's all of your... That's, well, all of you. Your tender and your locomotive yourself. Now I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm exhausted. But you have more cargo. I don't get paid enough for this. I don't think he gets paid at all. Well, I have to go. It's great seeing you again, Hank. You too, Donald. So what was that all about? I'll explain to you the whole thing. Hank had visited the island many years ago, all the way back in 2012. Now, his initial visit hadn't gone well since Thomas had a little accident while showing him around, and some of the engines were a bit hesitant about with Hank arriving on the railway. Again. But Sir Tom had reassured everyone is that he was a permanent engine this time, but also is that he'd be helping out with the heavy goods work and occasional passenger work. And now that he was reloaded to fit the British loading gauge, he would have a much better time working here than he did last time. Henry initially was a bit hesitant about Hank's arrival, worried that he would take more of Henry's work, but he soon realizes that Hank was actually majorly helping him out, being able to take a lot of the goods that he couldn't handle and Murdoch's. So this way, Henry actually had more time to do other work like his passenger runs. So he began to warm up to Hank. However, Murdoch was a different situation. Now, he did not dislike Hank, as since he was not that type of engine. However, he did grow worried about the fact that Hank could possibly take away work from him. He remembered he had this similar reaction when Hero was visiting that one time, and when Hero was discovered. So Murdoch kept a hesitant eye on Hank for a while. That night, Murdoch expressed his concern. "I still don't know about Hank. What if he takes my jobs away, and then I could possibly be withdrawn? Sir Topham Hatt would never withdraw any of us. The only excuse he would ever have is that we were damaged beyond repair, or if we decided to retire. Which, we'll never retire. Exactly. Now, Murdoch, I do understand your fear. Being honest, I did the same thing when a few other diesels came here once. I was worried they were going to ruin the reputation I had helped build. What I realized is that I had to get used to sometimes there being mean diesels. And however, I had you guys to back me up. Oh, hey, it's true. We never lost interest in Boko after those mean diesels like Class 40 came here those times. But you shouldn't worry, Murdoch. Hank is a really good engine, you know. Speaking of which, everyone keeps saying that he's doing better than he did last time. All I remember last time he came here was that he had a little incident with Thomas. Thomas kinda brought that onto himself. Yeah, I mean, he did try to take a train that he couldn't handle. Okay, it was one time, okay? One time! Whatever. But what happened, though? Well, it's kind of a funny story. Okay, but make it short. Alright, let me tell you. No, I don't know where you were during this time, but I think you were busy on the mainland or something. Anyways, Hank came to help out for a while, but also was brought on trial to see if he could possibly live on the island. Now, this was unfortunately before he was re-gauged. Now, yes, he did do well pulling goods, as they did have him limited to certain areas, but his troubles soon began to show. Come on, Hank, we got to get going. I have to agree with Bill and Ben here. I need to get going to my express, Hank. Alright, cool your jets, I'm coming. You see, one of the problems was, since he wasn't refitted, he couldn't handle crossing over switches. So... Oh no! Ah, nuts. Well, that's just great. Now I'm trapped. No, not only trapped. We're trapped too. That day it took a whole day to re-rail him, and many trains got delayed, including the express. However, that was not the only time. He was asked to take a small passenger train just a short distance, but as he was crossing a bridge, it suddenly gave way. Oh, my! Well, thankfully, no passengers were hurt, and the rest of the bridge managed to hold its weight. Kind of. Oh no! Ow! Ah, bother. It was soon found out the pillars could not support his weight, which then caused the bridge to collapse. But thankfully, no passengers were hurt. Neither were his crew, since they jumped out quickly. But finally, near the end of 2012, it was finally decided to send Hank back to America. I'm sorry, Hank, but we can't have you on this railway anymore. You are an amazing engine, and that's why you're going to be sent to a heritage railway with one of your brothers. But it's just you're not built for the British loading gauge, so none of the bridges can support your weight. I'm shocked about how they were able to support your weight for a little while. But I hope you understand. I do, sir. I do kind of agree, too. I miss my home. But I am going to miss this place, but I do understand. These bridges and that can't support my weight. Who knows? We'll probably bring you back one day. Once we get the funds enough to probably rebuild you to fit the British loading gauge. I hope so. Me and Donnie were there for the whole thing. We did feel upset, but we did understand it was probably for the best. But we did hope he would return. The engines remained silent. Well, I guess that's the reason why I never met him. I mean, I heard of him, and I know Henry met him, but I never got the chance. That was because you were away on your overhaul around that time. Yeah, I remember that too. You were there. Well, I wasn't there physically. I was there working on the Edwards branch line, so this meant I didn't have the time to meet him. But I did remember seeing him a couple of times approach Wellsworth. Oftenly, he was always careful around the switches. I think I'll give him a proper introduction tomorrow. I hope he understands. Come on, you lot. We better get some sleep. We have a busy day tomorrow. Alright. Murdoch, however, stayed awake for a little longer. He had a lot to think about. The next day, Murdoch was asked to take a really, really long train. However, it was much heavier than usual. Bother! I can't get the train to move. We might need some help. That's when. Oh, Murdoch! Oh, it's Hank. Hey, Murdoch. Do you need a little help? No, I'm pretty sure I can get the train rolling. It's just trying to get it moving. Get started. I heard from the other engines that you're not a big fan of me. What? No, I don't hate you. I was just hesitant. I understand. You know, Henry was the exact same way when I first came to Sodor. I remember he was similar with you, too. Well, at least from what the others told me. You're right. Henry was that way with me. Which I could understand. He was the goods engine here for so long. He might have felt a bit threatened that a new engine would show up. Yeah, and I understand you feel the same way. But I can tell you, I'm not here to steal your work. I'm a Sodor resident too now. And trust me, it was hard coming here. I miss my old home, but I'm happy to live here now. But you should know, I just want to work alongside you guys. I'm not here to take anyone's work. Thank you. I'm sorry for the way I've been acting. You haven't been acting bad at all. You were just a bit nervous. And that's perfectly fine. You know, to be honest, back in America, when faster engines start coming out like those diesels, I was really nervous too. I was worried the end of my working life was coming. But thankfully I was preserved. Now, you want to be friends? Sure. Now, do you think you can help me get this train? Of course. Just let me find a switch and then I'll help you. Just don't derail on them this time. Ha ha, very funny. Later, Hank backed up to Murdoch. And soon the two heavy engines puffed away. Murdoch still to this day does feel a tiny bit hesitant with Hank still. But to this day too, they always remain good friends.